Duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.98. Our 6-piece towel sets are back in stock with extremely limited quantities, only $29.98. With hundreds of MyPillow products, there's something for everyone on your Christmas list. Bathrobes, duvets, quilts, down comforters, and so much more. So go to MyPillow.com or call the number on your screen. Use your promo code to save on all MyPillow products. For example, flannel sheets for as low as $59.98, or our 6-piece towel sets, just $29.98. But that's not all. I'm extending our 60-day money-back guarantee until March 1st of 2025. Plus, all orders over $75 or more ship absolutely free. I'm excited to announce our Christmas extravaganza is finally here. Get this season's flannel sheets for as low as $59.98. They won't last long, so get them while you can. Our famous My Slippers, they haven't been on sale for over a year. Regularly $119.98, now only $59.
Live from Studio 6B on a Thursday. Yes, I am not going to say Monday. I am going to say Thursday and get it right. Slick thought I was going to get it wrong. He just knew for sure I was going to say Monday and screw it up.
Yep.
Because it feels like a Monday, but it's a Thursday. Happy New Year, everybody.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. We are back at the desk, back on air. Happy New Year. Hope it was a great New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Slick Rick's in the house, going to do some sports. Delgado's got news. Paul Nolan sitting in with the boys is going to have some thoughts and some news as well. Aaron and Fran holding it down as always. Glad you're in on a Thursday night. Real America's Voice, kicking off a brand new year. And from all of us to all of you, we hope it's as good as can possibly be for you. Happy, healthy, all the good things as we roll into 2025. And boy, what a busy month it's going to be. Tomorrow, January 3rd, new Congress rolls into town. We'll see who the Speaker of the House is going to be. We'll get that vote. Then, of course, January 6th, we've all come accustomed to that date.
Tale of living infamy.
Yeah.
Where the electors will come to Congress.
Yeah.
And then, of course, January 20th, Inauguration Day. A lot of other stuff goes on in January as well. We'll cover it all. Slickster, Happy New Year. How are you?
All right, Big D. College football playoffs going on now in January.
Oh, yes. Of course, you had the big Georgia Notre Dame game today that was postponed, obviously, a day.
Yep.
Because of the events in New Orleans, which we'll get to here in a second. Yep. But how was your New Year's?
Very nice. I host New Year's Eve every year. I've done
yes,
it for
you
the last
do.
25 years, and we had a fantastic party. Very nice.
I think what was it about? I don't know, 11:35 or something. You text me that you were still cooking.
I was still cooking. You're right. I was cooking. I was making my special sausage pasta dish with zucchini. Oh, delicious.
Dude, look at it. Look at him. He's always cooking.
It's right. I'm cooking.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
If there's a picture of, if you look up 24/7 cooking, it's a picture of Slick in there. That's it.
No jacket tonight. I had a busy day today, so I couldn't.
You don't have to apologize. You don't have to apologize for the way you look. You still look better than all of us.
My new look for the new year.
I went full John Fetterman, so what am I?
Don't apologize for the way you look. Slick, you look great.
Yeah. Thank you, Big D.
He went with the jacket off.
Rick Delgado's here. Happy New Year, Mr. Delgado. How was your New Year?
My New Year was good.
It was out of sight.
Why? What's wrong?
Well,
How come I can't have a good New Year?
I was hoping you were on the text chain as well.
I was, and I think I had kicked it off with a meme.
I think you probably did. How was your New Year's?
It was good. We got to hang out with some friends. It's always good when other people host. I hate hosting because then I get to go home and go.
His idea of hosting is a stick of pepperoni and Ritz crackers.
Yeah, exactly. No, good time. Wild weather.
Here.
I don't know. Were you affected by the wild weather on New Year's Eve?
Yes.
No, Delgado, I don't think so. What weather are we talking of?
About the heavy rains and the blue and green lightning.
Oh,
There was color to it.
Yeah, no, it was crazy.
It was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Well, I know because some parts of the island got it and some parts didn't.
No, we got it heavy. Tucker wouldn't. Tucker was rolled up in a blanket on my lap, and I was squeezing him to make him feel like he was safe.
Did you name your dog after
Shaking
Tucker
the poor
Carlson?
thing.
No.
Huh?
Did you name him after Tucker Carlson?
Sure. No, I didn't.
But it was a good New Year's, and of course everybody's happy and healthy, so that's good. And for anybody else who doesn't care, go fog yourself. I'll just say that.
Who's your? How's your dog, by the way?
He's doing great.
Great.
No more seizures. He's on his meds. He's doing good. He's gonna be 13 in like 2 weeks.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
13's a good run.
That's a good run.
I'm praying we get 13. I sign on the dotted line for 13, and then I'd try to tear it up and go for 15.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd break that deal. You get to 13,
Exactly.
you got to break that deal.
Exactly. How are you, Mr. Nolan?
I'm well.
How was your New Year's?
It was great. So I had hosted, my wife and I had hosted a party for over 25 straight years, and we passed the torch to our friend Joey and Jen, who watch this show regularly. Love you guys.
Really?
The party was outstanding, and I didn't have to do anything. I didn't even offer to help clean up the next day. I did nothing.
But I know you, Paul. You bought a couple of nice bottles of vino. I know you're a good guy like that.
Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
Little sopressate.
Okay, very good.
Yeah, I did. I brought over a lot of nice things, and I didn't have to clean that up either.
Yeah.
Nice.
I brought over a nice bottle of the Sammy Hagar, the Cabo
Spumante.
Wabo.
Nice.
How is that?
It goes on smooth.
Hey, did I win the 1.5 billion? No, I guess not. Huh? I would have known probably by now, right?
Yeah.
You'd
been complaining about your taxes now. I got to pay taxes.
I'd take the lump sum.
Yeah,
What's
same
it, about
here.
400 mil?
Yeah, you're probably closer to 5.
Yeah, I just want to congratulate the IRS on their $700 million windfall. Good on you guys.
500 mil.
Is it crazy? 1.2 was collected, and so they say, and you only get 500 of it.
If me and you won that, how much would we have after 30 days?
$23.
It would be like, all right, hold on, I got this much lint. I got a kazoo and a wooden nickel by the time you and I are done with the sports book.
I swear, if we got 500 mil, me and Paul, 7 days in Vegas, it would be 400 mil.
If I was in my 20s and won that, I'd be dead or rotting away in a Mexican prison. I couldn't be trusted that kind of money.
Oh, God.
Well, you got to move to California if you want to win, because that seems to be the only place they pay these big jackpots.
California.
It's always
The winning
California.
ticket's always in
Can
California.
I ask, was it a white person who won? Am I allowed to ask such a
I have
question?
no idea.
I don't know about that.
No idea.
I think you are. You're at least you're allowed to here. Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
But-
Damon won.
Was it a resident of the country?
Well, that's kind of
Was
where
it
it's
a
going with
citizen?
it.
If Damon won, either Slick or I would be buying pizza tomorrow.
I assumed it was Nancy Pelosi's houseboy.
100%. So, well, we hope you had a good. It took me a second there. Well, we hope you had a good New Year's as well. Welcome back. It's going to be a great year. 2024 was a great year, and 2025 will be even better, I'm sure. Well, what? I'm sorry. Excuse me.
It's off to a rocky start.
Well, it is. Well, yes. So let's. I meant for the show and for it's off to a rock. That's off to a rocky start too, though.
Oh yeah.
You showed up tonight. Well, here's the thing.
Another fog.
You know what I realized more than anything? I was kind of out of the loop to what was going on New Year's Eve. I didn't really catch this news until well into New Year's Day that this had even happened. I don't know. I was just out to lunch. Turned it off. I just turned everything off New Year's Eve. It was just quiet, whatever. But you know what I realized? How much of an SH sandwich Donald Trump is getting handed to him.
Oh, yeah.
How much of I was speaking to someone today, and he called it a hot potato. And I said, it's not even a hot potato. It's like a nuclear potato. And you don't even want to, I mean, I don't care how good you are. I mean, the hand he's getting dealt, Kash Patel's getting dealt, Tulsi Gabbard's getting dealt, Mike Waltz is getting dealt, all these people. The hand that they're getting dealt to have to play, having seen what we've seen here in less than 2 full days into the new year, New Orleans, New York,
Las Vegas.
a couple other smaller incidents I've seen
Austin.
news of today.
How about Greenville? So when the truck with bombs in it?
Greenville, South Carolina, highways closed down today. We don't know what that's all about.
You got the plane into the building.
Plane into the California.
California, yep.
We don't know what the details on that are.
Yep.
I'm sure the FBI lady in New Orleans will tell us it wasn't a terrorist attack right away.
Oh, they're taking their cues.
Has she been
from,
fired yet? Oh,
They're
no.
taking their cues from London.
So
It's not a terrorist attack. Okay.
when you think, and listen, I'm not making Sean Ryan out to be the end all be all of every fact, but
Yeah.
if you listen to some of the episodes of the last couple months of his show, of these people who certainly know a lot more about it than I do, lay out the case for what possibly is happening in this country and what has been happening for these number of years and what they're getting ready for, and the lack of seemingly interest. And again, I don't know how to qualify that. I don't want to say that every single person in the government has no interest in whether there's going to be a terrorist attack on our country and our homeland. I don't necessarily think that's the case, but the broader point that they make of people that don't seem to be taking this seriously, and then you see what's happened, and you start thinking about what the new administration is going to have to try to deal with. Boy, it's a real you-know-what sandwich, right, Delgado?
Yeah, exactly. As a matter of fact, I know what you're referring to, specifically the clip of Sarah Adams.
I mean, she's one of 4 or 5 shows, though.
Yeah. And you know, what she says, we have the clip here if you want to replay it. It's cut number 3 from Sean Ryan's show, outlining the enemy's plan for these 2025 homeland attacks. And you know what? Almost like on cue, it seems to be following a certain script. You know, large cities.
Yep.
Coordinated.
The people who did it disappear from all friends and family for 30 to 60 to 90 days beforehand. Yep. You know, I like to know who's in their ear though in that time frame.
I mean, it goes beyond Sarah. Is Sarah Adams, is that her name?
Yeah.
I actually messaged her to see if we can get her on the show. It goes beyond her. Her episode's great though, but his episode with this guy called Legend was another one.
Yeah.
His episode with the who's the other guy? Not Mark Geist. That's the guy we had on the show. Although Mark Geist probably has some pretty good insights to this.
Well, what about what Senator Kennedy said?
Senator Kennedy's answer is, I don't know specifically if that's what you're referring to, but Senator Kennedy was on something, I guess, yesterday or the day before. I guess it was yesterday.
I think it was yesterday, yeah.
And it was asked point blank, can you reassure the citizens that basically, nothing else is going on?
Right, that New Orleans is safe.
Right, and he basically wouldn't answer.
Yeah. He said, I could answer, but I'm not going to, because the answer I could give is not going to be something you want, something to that effect that you want to hear.
Yeah, it was.
That I can't tell you.
Yeah, it was like, I know more than you, and I can't really let on, but I can't really answer that question.
But basically, he basically said no.
Yeah, he basically said no. There's a lot more threats that are, who knows the threat level and whoever deals with this is dealing with.
Yeah, and unfortunately, the clown shoes that are right now in charge are not really, let's face it, they're too busy putting earrings in their freaking nose, and saying something's not a terrorist attack after, the other officials on the scene who know all the details can pretty much confirm this is a terrorist attack.
I guess the ISIS flag on the truck didn't give it away.
That wasn't enough?
It wasn't enough.
Well, the guy's Facebook videos talking up ISIS and jihad, that's
or as improvised explosive devices, which I guess all the kids are carrying these days. So it's not, so it's not a big deal. No, I'm going to call shenanigans on the fake Bureau of Investigators.
Well, at least if you had to pick a city that you wanted the FBI field office to have to investigate something going on, at least it happened in Las Vegas, because that place, nothing's ever happened there that they've let us down with the FBI field office. Right. So you got to feel good about what's going to happen, what's going to come out of there, that you're going to get the truth.
Yeah, there's no connections anywhere, and all of them at Fort Bragg had nothing to do with it, probably. There's no reason to think that could be connected in any way. Or the guy, what was the second guy, Ryan
Rouse.
Yeah, who
visited there like 100 times.
147 times.
Yeah.
Okay. There's probably no MK Ultra going on there.
Yeah, the quick dismissal of any anything similar. But I mean, the rent-a-cars, the app, they just dismiss it out of hand so fast. Well, no, there's nothing that the two are not connected somehow. Really? I mean, maybe they're not, but
at least talk about it. Stop putting it on the internet sleuth staff to do some of your work.
All right, we'll talk a lot more about this. Just getting started, 13 past the hour. Glad you're back. Happy New Year. Live from Studio 6B. Brand new year. Let's go. I caught nothing.
I was so tired New Year's Day. I felt like I was coming down with something, and I guess I was. And I was just exhausted. And we worked at the house we're building. The whole crew's like, they just wanted to work. So we said, all right, well, let's just dig in and do it. And I'm dragging my butt up and down. And I had one cocktail on New Year's, and it went down like a razor blade just because I wasn't feeling so good. The next day, that night, I got home. I went to bed at 7:45 last night. I woke up at 8:30 the next day. Almost 13 hours of sleep. I usually get 6 or 7 at best. I don't sleep very well. And I missed all this. Now I wake up. Now I'm starting to move around. I'm late for my job. I got a million things moving, parts going everywhere. But all of a sudden, when I finally had it, at 4 o'clock, I had time to catch up on all I had missed. My head started to explode.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had no
Overload.
idea. For quite a while into New Year's Day. Chat. What's going on? Happy New Year. Can't believe it's 2025. I agree.
Can't believe it's 2025.
Howdy, Rumblers. Howdy, Twixters. Happy New Year. Thanks for joining us in the chats.
If Damon would have paid up and taken you guys to the Spirit, you could do a live show from Trump Tower.
I know.
Oh, nice.
Or Trump Hotel. I think it's Trump Hotel.
Yeah. So you guys could have been there. I saved you. So I don't want to hear any
Trump
nonsense.
What? Nothing happened. We would have been fine. We would have been protected.
We wouldn't have been standing in the front of the place.
Exactly.
Come on. We go through the back door. like the rock stars. Delgado's like, speak for yourself.
Bum, 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 bum. Happy New Year, everybody. Who's saying Happy New Year? Right back at you. No games on national TV, Slick? No? Well, you had Georgia and Notre Dame before.
That game just wrapped up. It was a good game. Yep.
Thought you guys had a new studio last week. Where are you guys now? No. We have one studio. We just have a bunch of different sets. Big D, great recap show. All credit goes to Erin in that one. Erin put that whole thing together.
Yeah, that was
she
a good
did a
show.
Fantastic job.
A good show.
Fantastic job, Erin.
Got a lot of good
As always.
She's very pleasant.
Yeah, she's
very pleasant, yes. Until you call her and ask her what you think about certain subjects.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, well. You know.
And then she's not so pleasant.
Especially when the weather's a little foggy. Yeah.
Then the knives come out. And the slicing and dicing begin.
Yes.
Yeah, that's for sure. That's for sure. Rick Amorati looking good as usual. Morning show coming back. Yes, Monday. Janet. Hello, Janet on Facebook. All right, 17 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. On Thursday. Damon, why are you being mean to Rick Delgado? 2025 just started.
Exactly.
17 past the hour. Glad you're in. Delgado's here. Believe it or not, he's back. 2025. I guess I haven't thrown enough shade at him yet.
Not yet. I keep escaping your trunk.
Yes. Rick Amorati's here. He's going to do sports. Paul
That's a
Nolan's
shot at me.
Speaking of my trunk, Paul Nolan's here.
Well, so at some point
He spent the better part of 2024 in my trunk, according to most in the audience. So
I love how you introduced the show. We got Slick Rick with sports. We got Rick Delgado with news. We got Paul loitering.
yeah, well, whatever, hanging out. I say you have some thoughts and some news. That's what you have, right?
Yep, I got some stuff.
Okay, very good.
I got things.
Very good. And we're gonna come right to you for your things.
Okay.
Right after we do sports. Sports is brought to you in the new year, of course, by our friend, guess who? Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code to use if you shop at MyPillow. Slick, bring us up to date on those sports of today. What's going on?
All right, well, big game today. We had the obviously the replay was canceled last night, or not canceled, but postponed for today due to the what happened in New Orleans yesterday. We talked about it a little bit earlier. A lot of Georgia Bulldog fans were in town to watch the game as they took on. Did you see the game, by the way? It was quite the.
I saw the kickoff of the second half. The guy ran it back, Notre Dame.
Yeah, but Notre Dame with a big win, 23-10, Big D today. Again, 98-yard kickoff return.
Yeah.
That was an amazing run.
I saw that.
I don't think Georgia really, outside of that opening field goal, that game was pretty much over after that, as Notre Dame just shut it down. And I would have had Georgia in that game. I'll be honest with you. I would have taken the Dogs sitting there at number 2, taking on number 7 Notre Dame. Notre Dame continues to surprise me. They really do. And I know Erin would have been on Notre Dame because she likes Notre Dame. She's been on them, right, Erin? You probably would have picked Notre Dame today against Georgia.
I definitely would have.
Yeah, and I definitely think you would have. And then, of course, Ohio State, they're going to be playing number 5 Texas. They had a big win yesterday. So number 8 is taking on number 5 Texas. Right now, the Buckeyes are a 6-point favorite. So we'll have to see what happens with that. That'll be on Friday, January 10th, a week from tomorrow night. And then Notre Dame will be taking on Penn State. And that'll be number 7 Notre Dame versus number 6 OSU. And Notre Dame right now is an early 1.5-point favorite. So, again, we'll have that on the show. We'll definitely have that as part of the odds maker. That is the college football playoffs coming down to the wire with the championship game on January 20th, that Monday night. Can't wait. Should be a great time. That's definitely appointment television. You know, some stories obviously going around in New Orleans, what had happened with naturally we had a moment of silence that was done today, yes, which was really nice. Obviously, the video, Sugar Bowl holds a moment of silence to honor victims of the NOLA terror attack. The All-State Sugar Bowl in New Orleans held a moment of silence to honor those killed or injured in Wednesday's terror attack on Bourbon Street. The game between Notre Dame and Georgia was postponed until Thursday after a driver drove a truck into the crowd, killing or injuring dozens. Then the driver, identified as U.S. Army veteran Shamsud Din Jabbar, exited the vehicle and opened fire on police, wounding 2 law enforcement officers. Din Jabbar was killed in the firefight with the officers. Unfortunately, a lot of young people were killed, including a gentleman from Princeton. An ex-Princeton football player was also killed on that one. Let's get that story.
Saw a kid from Long Island, too.
Yeah.
Terrible.
Graduated from.
Well, the New Orleans terror attack claimed life of ex-Princeton football player Tiger Beck. This is Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. The attack early on New Year's Day in New Orleans has claimed the life of former Princeton football player Tiger Beck. He was only 28 years old. Beck was a wide receiver at Princeton, an all-Ivy League player, and is the older brother of Jack Beck, a standout wide receiver at TCU last year, CBS Sports reported. So a lot of unfortunately sad situation there, a lot of carnage from that, and I'm not sure what the status is on some of the other people. It was about 35 that were injured or so, right? Quite a few that were injured. So I
think it was 14 killed, 35 or 40 injured.
Yeah,
I believe it's up to
just
15
terrible.
now killed.
15
right?
killed,
15 now.
And there was a lot of going back and forth there with the government and down in New Orleans, local government. They wanted to postpone the game even longer, but instead they brought in tight security, because don't forget now, the Super Bowl this year is in New Orleans, and that's just about a month away. That's, I think, the second week of February, like the 8th or the 9th. And so obviously all eyes will be on that. NFL is already in contact with the local authorities. They're already working on it in heightened security. They usually have great security anyway, but they want to make sure everything is really buttoned down there at the Caesars Superdome there, Big D.
I heard some discussion about that today, saying people were questioning these roads, why there was one cop car just blocking the road and not those whatever,
bollards.
things.
Those bollards.
And they were saying that they're waiting on new ones. They were supposed to be here well before the Super Bowl or something or other.
Like they're being reconditioned or something. I heard that too. It's crazy.
What'd you say, Paul?
I said blah, blah, blah. It's same old nonsense.
Same old nonsense.
And they were both, the coincidence also, they were both rented by that new...
app, Toro.
Toro.
Yep.
It's a lot of weird coincidences, but, they could just be that for all we know. But it's just too bad we're so conditioned to not believe a word the FBI or the media tells us. So
absolutely.
The other thing
constantly in this state.
Besides that, and the fact that I spent way more time on X than I did, I don't think I even went to another website. I didn't even go. I wouldn't have gone to the New York Times anyways. But
No.
I didn't go anywhere. I didn't even go to the Post. I didn't go to nothing. I just went to X. That's where I went. Not that that's not that everything you see there is going to give you all the facts either, but
at
that's
least
certainly
you had a choice.
Yeah, it's absolutely where I went. Only place I would go.
Well, what's amazing is that now Twitter X is considered the number one news resource in the world.
Yeah.
Yep. No surprise.
Yeah, no surprise.
And that's a wrap in sports, Big D there.
Okay, it's good, Slick. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFSXP is the promo code. The other thing I thought, I was thinking, is that when all this went down, I had absolutely zero expectation or will or need or want, maybe is a better way to say it, to even see or hear from the President of the United States. I had no expectation of seeing him. I didn't feel a need to hear from him.
I didn't even know he existed
Right.
anymore. I just expected he would come on and pardon this guy already.
It's just strange, though. Still, I know it's not because of the, Then he ended up coming out. And do we have that, Aaron? I put that in the box today. Do we actually have his? Do we have his comments? Okay, we'll see if you can find that if you have time. He did come out, and it was
a train wreck.
If it wasn't obviously it was just not obviously going to be made crazy town, because it's just not obviously the thing to do it on. But it literally could have been if it wasn't on this subject matter, because it was just, and as I watched it, I thought, this is the sad state of reality in the country right now. 18 days is going to seem like 18 years.
Yeah.
It's going to seem like 18 years for 18 days to go by, because I had no want or need or even expectation to hear from the President of the United States upon a terror attack inside the country again. And I had no interest. Didn't even think about, when are we going to hear? I don't know what that says, but it says something.
Yeah, well, you're tired of waiting for his handler's talking points that he's going to mince up and chop up and make sound even dumber than what they're spewing to us, through his script. It's the same old thing. He's not making any choices or decisions. He's not even deciding what he has for breakfast. This guy's as useless as an empty suit, and we know exactly what he is. He's just biding his time, and we have to wait till this nonsense is behind us.
Biden his time. Speaking of Biden, he still thinks he could have won the election.
Yeah.
That's the latest news coming out of the White House before this.
He couldn't have ran for PTA and
but wait, before we just move on to
Bake
other stuff. So Delgado, what do you think that says?
about
that I have no interest in hearing from this guy in a situation where you want to hear from this is where you want to hear from the president in front of a microphone.
I'm with you. The only person I wanted to hear from was Trump, because that is the expectations that we have moving forward, that things like this will be handled correctly. And again, it's about seeing some light at the end of this god-awful 4-year tunnel of the Biden administration.
And I see Mayorkas out there. He's asked questions about the same kind of thing that Kennedy got asked, and he just filibusters. He just doesn't. I mean, oh, man. 18 days. It's going to seem like 18 months. 26 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. The real question is, even in 18 days, what I said in the first segment, I don't know what these guys can do with the hand they're getting dealt.
You hope that some of these people have been tracked, and they lead you to the others.
Yeah, the problem is, though, can you trust every level of the FBI at this point? He's turned the FBI and the CIA against him. When he told them he doesn't want their briefings, CIA is used to running the country. They used to telling presidents exactly what to do and how to do it. Right. And when he said, "No, I don't need your briefings. Tell me what you want. As I want it." He set a wedge with them. So they don't want it. The deep state is the CIA. Yeah, they want to keep themselves alive. He knows that they're on the verge of being dismantled. They'll do everything in their power to disrupt his presidency. They're going to do everything in their power.
But there already was the wedge. He was just keeping them at arm's length. Now I'm not. Before I was talking to you. Now I'm not talking to you anymore. So just stay away.
I know, but my general point is,
I'm with you completely. I just
don't know what he's going to be able to do. Like, if Sarah Adams is right, and there's 1,000+ ISIS-trained fighters in the country, maybe more, but at least that they've actually trained for this kind of an October 7th kind of style hit on the homeland. Well, what administration can? It's just such a shit situation to come into. And I don't know what he does, other than he's going to take the blame for, God forbid, something like that happens. Yeah, that thing is...
Yeah, well, I guess my opinion...
I think it's worse now.
Should it be... it sounds like worse.
Yeah, let's trash that wire.
So, twist it again?
No. Let's trash it. Let's put another one in its place.
Don't do that, Paul.
No?
Now it sounds good.
Sounds better now, though, no?
It does.
Tie it around your neck. See if you can bring it into a...
Now it's perfect. They make medication.
That's when he gets choked up.
Yes, right in the...
It's just every citizen in America, arm yourself. Stay vigilant.
That's a good idea.
Stay armed.
Don't rush, Aaron. We can do it in the next... We can do it.
Paul, did you open a gun shop?
Well, it's these new wires. It's the ball bearings.
Just go straight in. Go ahead. He'll fix it.
Nothing.
No, she's got to flip it on the other side. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Woo! Now
It's lively now. Everything changed. Okay. Oh, that's worse.
All right, I'll sit this one out, I guess.
Oh, there you go.
There you go.
No, but now I have an echo like crazy.
Oh. It's the wonder.
All right, 30 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night. I almost said Monday. Almost got me. I'm not going to make that mistake tonight. Thursday night, January 2nd. Happy New Year, everybody. Glad you're in Real America's Voice. Mr. Nolan's here, Rick Delgado, Slick Rick, Aaron Fran, all holding it down on a Thursday night. Damon sounds like he's in the bathroom. Yes, we're on it. We're going to get it fixed. Don't you worry. Not me. It's Paul's mic. We're going to fix it.
It's a bowl game.
It's a bowl. It's a bowl game. Paul, that's some of your best work you're doing right now. Some of your best work.
He's speechless.
So, we're going to get it. Fran's working on it right now. So if he's going to walk in front of the camera, he's going to fix this thing, and I don't care as long as he sounds good when it's all done. That's right. So that's what's going on. This is live television. You get to see it in its all its glory. Let's do the news. We'll put the camera on Rick Delgado only. Delgado can't talk only.
Oh, man. Damon thinks he hit the lotto tonight.
Hey, this is the show I always wanted. Let's try. Let's see what I can do here. Rick Delgado is totally off his rocker. I feel like I can hear him now. Can you talk? No, I can't hear him. Good. Delgado is totally nuts. He has totally lost it. Totally lost. No, I can't. I feel. Okay, yeah. The audience can't hear you though, so that's good. So Paul and Delgado are off. So this is the show I always wanted. You guys look pretty, but let me do all the talking. So Slick, your mic's working, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't hear that, Paul. I did.
They're taking my job now.
Yeah. So, we were just saying again. I was just saying to be serious now for a second, a quick second in the break that. When you really think about like what Sarah Adams says and some of these other people who know this stuff, and they say, ISIS has been training. Number one, we're funding our own demise. Our own demise. As we're sending tens of millions a month, and we have an open line of communication with the Taliban, and we're sending money to, it's so crazy. And when you think about, my drink came. now mine's gone, I think. All right, Aaron, let's roll Biden's comments here.
I want to thank our brave first responders and law enforcement personnel who stopped the attacker in his tracks before he could kill or injure even more people. And I want to thank you to everyone at the Department of Homeland Security, the Department of Justice, including the FBI, working non-stop to investigate this heinous act. The FBI is leading the investigation to determine what happened, why it happened, and whether there was any continuing threat to public safety. Here's what we know so far. The FBI has reported to me the killer was an American citizen, born in Texas. He served in the United States Army on active duty for many years. He also served in the Army Reserve until a few years ago. The FBI also reported to me that mere hours before the attack, he posted videos on social media indicating that he was inspired by ISIS, expressing a desire to kill. The ISIS flag was found in his vehicle, which he rented to conduct this attack. Possible explosives were found in the vehicle as well, and more explosives were found nearby. The situation is very fluid, and the investigation has a preliminary stage. And the fact is that right now, there you go. The law enforcement and intelligence community are continuing to look for any connections, associations, or co-conspirators. We have nothing additional to report at this time. The investigation is continuing to be active, and no one should jump to conclusions. I've directed my Attorney General, the FBI Director, the Secretary of Homeland Security, the head of the National Counter-Terrorism Center, and the intelligence community to work on this intensively until we have a full and complete information. And once we have that information, I will share that information as soon as we can confirm it. Additionally, we're tracking the explosion of a Cybertruck outside the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas. Law enforcement and the intelligence community are investigating this as well, including whether there's any possible connection with the attack in New Orleans. Thus far, there's nothing to report on that score at this time. I directed my team to make sure every resource is made available to federal, state, and local law enforcement to complete the investigation in New Orleans quickly and to make sure there's no remaining threat to the American people. And we'll support the people of New Orleans as they begin the hard work of healing. New Orleans is a place unlike any other place in the world. It's a city full of charm and joy. So many people around the world love New Orleans because of its history, its culture, and above all, its people. So I know, while this person committed a terrible assault on the city, the spirit of our New Orleans will never, never, never be defeated. It always will shine forth. We've seen that time and time again throughout its history, and I know we'll see it again in the days and weeks ahead. May God bless the people of New Orleans. May God bless our police and our first responders. May God protect our troops, and we'll keep you fully, contemporaneously informed. Thank you.
Have you spoken to President Trump?
Are you concerned about more attacks?
Have you spoken to President Trump?
Investigated as a terror attack?
Wow.
There you go. Those were the comments. Were just I guess, I don't know, they lost the teleprompter there in the middle. He said, there you go. He's looking down, silent, lips all cut up. Oof. And I guess that's why my initial feeling is I just had no interest in hearing from him, the guy.
Oh, no.
I didn't even think about whether we would hear from him or not. Like, it never even crossed my mind. Like, just absolutely wild.
And now here's another thing. Payette in Indiana, Idaho, they arrested a guy just now with an IED found near a train car. This just coming in now across the wire. So, I mean, this is clearly some kind of a unified effort. This can't be happening again.
We're under attack, I think. I really do.
Well, I mean, I don't think we can jump out that far ahead and say it's. We don't know.
We don't know, but I mean,
but this is in less than the 2 full days. It does seem like. What's this story now, Paul? You want to?
Yeah, let me go to it here. It's the Idaho Statesman. Let's see if it's going to make me pay. Trains halted, FBI involved. Explosive device found on train car in Treasure Valley. Police halted all train activity for hours after footprints of snow led officers to an explosive device on a train car on New Year's Day. Payette Police Department said it received a report regarding a suspicious subject who was seen attempting to light something on fire near a parked railroad car, 600 block of North 8th Street in Payette. So officers arriving at the scene just before 6 p.m. found fresh footprints leading to the train car that had a suspected undetonated improvised explosive device. Mm-hmm. So here we go again. So
here's Mayorkas tonight on with Wolf Blitzer on CNN. Now, he is the Homeland Security Secretary, I believe, correct?
Yes. Last I checked, yes.
Okay. So now, just maybe I'm reading this wrong, but let's listen to where Wolf Blitzer says he gets this bulletin that he's about to read from, and then let's listen to Mayorkas' reaction. Here it is.
I keep hearing, it's very interesting. You're the Secretary of Homeland Security. CNN has obtained a joint bulletin from the Department of Homeland Security warning of lone offender attacks coming up, specifically mentioning the potential use of vehicle ramming. That bulletin came out and was sent around the country to cities and states warning of this potential danger. Did New Orleans screw up, basically, not pay attention to that warning?
I don't think that's fair to say, Wolf. That wouldn't be a fair conclusion to draw. That was not our first bulletin with respect to the threat of the lone offender. The perpetrator of the terrorist attack yesterday in New Orleans was an Army veteran, a U.S.-born citizen. We have spoken now for about 10 years about the phenomenon of an individual resident in the United States radicalized to violence by a foreign terrorist ideology or other ideologies. We're speaking of a veteran here. Local officials do the best they can in securing the well-being of their residents. We work very closely with our state and local partners.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Have you ever seen a group or a person? Has there ever been a person who has given you less?
None.
Right?
None.
Never get
less feeling of
honorability.
confidence?
None. Absolutely.
Than that guy? that he has any idea of what's going on, or has any ability to handle what's going on?
No, he knows exactly what's going on, and you could tell the scumbaggery of it when he keeps mentioning a veteran. You notice he keeps going on to that because that's the angle that they're shooting, right? They've been talking about it for years. Oh, the homegrown. It's homegrown. We got to watch these former military guys, white supremacists, all these guys.
Oh, yeah.
This guy
And
was
he's
brown.
not an illegal. Don't you dare say he's an illegal. They want to keep saying he's an American citizen,
right?
Because God forbid they don't want to. They don't want to. You can't play that.
Delgado's onto something. That's true. This the never-ending attack of our veterans.
I agree.
Because who's going to stand up to any kind of government, clampdown, so to speak? It's soldiers and veterans who are trained,
right?
So they want to vilify them all at every level. It's crazy.
If they can demonize them and get you to think, well, maybe it's them, now that works again to that dividing, tactic that they have.
Yeah.
And of course, to paint them as the bad guy. Oh, they could be a problem. There's potentials there. Why do you think they have the red flag law? In case you see somebody who used to be a veteran and they have a weapon, you should red flag them. This is all by design. I'm sorry. I know it's crazy, but welcome to the party, pal. It's here. It's going to be in our face, unfortunately, and we're going to have to deal with it. And when you see it, there's a clip here of Sarah Adams talking to a couple of guys, I guess, that have a podcast in a gun shop.
Yeah, I saw this.
Talking about, you know what? She's telling people, arm up. I mean,
I didn't see that one, but that's what I said at the break. You want to combat this? Arm up. Everyone should be, and this is why they want to take all weapons. They want us to be, they want us to be
defenseless.
The UK. They want us to be Australia. No way.
Yeah.
No
it's
way.
Crazy. Too much to sit there and be like, well, it's kind of a coincidence. It's not a coincidence. There are no coincidences. We've run out of conspiracy theories that work, that don't work. We're running into everything is now exactly what you think it is, because they have proven themselves over the last decade and more of continually lying to us. And now the what is it? The king has no clothes.
Yeah,
right?
the
emperor has no clothes.
The media can't control it. X is number one. Everybody goes there for media. Little clips, pieces of the truth. And they've divorced themselves from mainstream media. And they can't control it. 10 Days of Darkness? Oh. Hear about that one?
43 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. More news. Some news of Paul Nolan as well coming up right after this.
The guys holding it down, Aaron and Fran fixing the sound in no time.
Yes.
That was impressive.
That was clutch.
I still can't set my DVR. These guys come in.
I still can't set my VCR. Dated myself with that one.
This is crazy. That's what we talked about on that last show of the year. Like, I'm just concerned that these deep state globalist players, they want what they want, and they have had a plan for 60, 70 years. They think long term. They're not going to lay down because Trump is a pain in their butt.
Nope.
I don't know, man. I just don't know what to think. I'm just so sick of being lied to by the media. It hasn't done its job in 30 years.
GQ MAGA and Rumble says, much like KDJ, I also lost my guns in a duck boat accident. The gales of November came late for me.
He does have some funny ones. Mr. AZ Mikey, what's going on? Tomorrow's a big day in Congress. I guess. We'll see how eventful or non-eventful it is.
I'm with NTBNC.
New Kids on the Block? Oh, no.
Yeah. Are they looking for a reason to declare martial law before the 20th?
Of course you're with them.
Of course. Why not ask the question?
He said Martian, not Marshall.
Yeah. Oh, you said Martian law. That makes more sense.
Martian law.
Yeah, I thought you were talking about the green guys.
This guy survived.
This kid should go to jail forever. No, not forever.
No.
99 years.
3 days short of forever.
No.
All right, 47 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Let's do some sports and news. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. LFS6B is the promo code if you're going to shop at MyPillow. You can go to mypillow.com/LFS6B for all the best deals for this audience. You can go directly to that page that Mike and the team have put together, and we so appreciate them doing that. And we appreciate when you use code LFS6B at checkout. Slick Rick's got it. What's going on, Slick?
All right, big deal. Let's get a check up on the scoreboard here. NCAA football. We got another bowl game going on right now. Tax Slayer Gator Bowl. We got Ole Miss, number 14, Ole Miss, who just missed the college football playoffs, by the way, leading Duke 14-0 at the end of the first quarter. So a little bowl action going on. We'll keep an eye on that. NHL action. We got a full slate tonight. We have the Hurricanes and Panthers tied at 1 with 25 seconds to go in the second. End of 2. Rangers in the Garden leading the Bruins 2-1 in a good one. Capitals and Wild tied at 2. End of 2. Also end of 2. Blue Jackets and Red Wings knotted at 3. Maple Leafs and Islanders at the U Bailey Score Arena out in Long Island. 10 minutes to go in the second. And guess what? No score. How you like that one? Senators 2-1 over the Stars. End of 1. Also end of 1. The Jets over the Ducks 2-1. Sabres and Avalanche coming up at 9 o'clock. We got the Utah Hockey Club and the Flames out in Calgary. 9 p.m. puck drop there. Flyers, Golden Knights, Canucks, Kraken, and Lightning Sharks all coming up at 10 and 10:30 respectively.
No way.
NBA action, we'll catch that on the next round of scores. We got a sad story in the sports world. World's oldest Olympic champion gymnast Agnes Coletti dies at 103.
Wow.
Todd Houston,
God
a
bless.
bright boy. God bless this
Where do
woman.
I sign up for that?
Tell me. Olympic champion Agnes Coletti was the oldest living medal winner when she died in Budapest on Thursday at the age of 103. Coletti had been hospitalized with pneumonia on December 25th, according to the New York Times. Born in Budapest as Agnes Klein in 1921, the 10-time Olympic medal winner almost lost her chance to compete in the famed World Games. She was born to a Jewish family, and when World War II broke out, her gymnastics career was ended by the Nazi regime that overtook Hungary. She lost one opportunity to compete when the 1940 Olympics were canceled due to the war, and then was forced off her team in 1941 over her Jewish ancestry. Fortunately, she survived the war by assuming a false identity as a Christian and worked as a maid in the Hungarian countryside as the battle raged. Her mother and sister escaped the clutches of the Nazis with the assistance of famed Swedish diplomat Raoul Wallenberg. Sadly, she lost her father and several others relatives to the death camps in Auschwitz, who died where 500,000 of the Hungarian, with 500,000 other Hungarian Jews. After the war, Coletti returned to a gymnastics career and was set to compete in the 48 Olympics in London, but trouble struck again when a late ankle injury forced her to resign from the Games. Finally, in 1952 in Helsinki, she won a gold and silver medals and 2 bronzes at the age of 31, no less. You talk about a woman that stuck with it, and that's why she persevered, lived to be 103 years old. So Agnes Coletti, one of the great ones in Olympic history and the oldest living medal winner, has left us. So that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Sports is brought to you by MyPillow, mypillow.com/LFS6B. Let's do some news, and here with that is Rick Delgado. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition. Available at livefromstudio6b.com right there on the homepage. Great supplements and vitamins if you want to take a look at those. Rick Delgado, what's going on?
All right. Well, as they say, right, Aaron, so much going on. Let's jump to this. If you want to take a look at, the Biden administration and where their focus really is, why maybe Damon was right. And we saw, from the few minutes with Joe Biden, how it was basically a crap show of him making the statement. Here's where their focus really was, as Joe Biden anointed Liz Cheney with the Presidential Citizens Medal. This is cut number 2.
Where's my cowboy hat?
If you haven't seen this, because this is the important stuff. Don't look at all that stuff. Look at this, because this is the Liz Cheney.
This is repulsive. Is
embraced by the Democrat Party. Cut number 2. Go check this out.
Elizabeth L. Cheney for putting the American people over party.
What?
Oh, my
That's
God.
enough to
A laugh riot.
I saw someone say, I know you could wear that in a jail cell.
Well, I think the medal comes with a pardon.
Yeah, probably stuffed
Without
underneath.
a doubt.
You know that's coming
You're
for
probably
sure.
right. Do not pass
I'm
go.
sure that's coming.
Look at that. This,
Barf City.
This is exactly what is wrong with the government.
Gold-plated phonies.
Why are they doing
And the
this?
clapping seance. Yeah, Liz! Tamper with the witnesses. Good job, Liz. Yeah.
Great. Standing ovation. Look at this. Why not?
That's right.
God.
Profits over country.
Yep.
There you have it.
Jeez.
Hey, Liz. Yeah. Hey, Trump. Ooh.
Man.
Yeah, with everything going on, that's the important thing that the White House is focusing on. I don't know if you caught this, Paul. I know you'll appreciate this. Allstate CEO lecturing Americans on how they should react to terrorism in New Orleans.
I actually couldn't believe this when I saw it. I just couldn't believe this move.
What? It's you're in safe hands. You're in good hands, right? Isn't that the slogan?
Fire the PR team immediately.
Mayhem.
If you haven't seen it, here you go. Try not to vomit on yourself. Cut number 1, the Allstate CEO.
Welcome to the Allstate Sugar Bowl. Wednesday, tragedy struck the New Orleans community.
Good job with the audio.
Our prayers are with the victims and their families.
Echo.
We also need to be stronger together by overcoming an addiction to divisiveness and negativity. Join Allstate working in local communities all across America to amplify the positive, increase trust,
Aaron,
and accept people's imperfections and differences. Together, we win.
I'm so sick of people like that. Who is that guy?
Weasel.
He's the CEO of the Good Hands people.
Yeah.
Telling you how you should be reacting, how we should come together.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And try not to point out all the possible terrorists that could be in the country.
Yeah.
I know.
Is he for real?
Of course, we've been talking about the New Orleans attack, the Vegas attack, potential others that are out there. We talked about a little bit. Austin, we still don't have information on that. The plane that flew into the building in Fullerton in California, and the one that Paul just reported on, I think it was Idaho, you said?
Yep.
That they're still looking for more information. But here's what you get when when you put on these two just incredible entities known as New Orleans Police Chief and the FBI, and you slide them together into the same press conference, you get a very direct message that is on point, and you can tell they're working hand in hand. This is cut number 6. Check this out for yourself. You can't even make this up.
Good morning. First of all, we do know that the city of New Orleans was impacted by a terrorist attack. It's all still under investigation. You'll hear more after me. However, I have been in direct contact with the White House, with Governor Landry, and of course a unified command who is present here.
This is not a terrorist event. What it is right now is their improvised explosive devices that was found, and we are working on confirming if it's a viable device or not.
Yeah, so there you have it. No mixed message.
Viable device.
If she's still working on January 21st at the wherever she works, it would be a disaster.
Big oversight.
Just insane. Just insane. And that's, that's just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to these stories that keep unfolding. I don't know if you want to see this.
This is not a terror.
It's just a device.
Then she goes on to say, but we found improvised explosive devices, which are the hallmark.
Meanwhile, underneath her, the font below is saying terrorist attack.
Right.
Yeah.
And the hallmark of terrorists are improvised explosive devices, which she just went ahead and said that they did fine. They confirmed that.
Yeah.
But
if the ISIS flag left you still in a sense of, well, I'm not sure.
I'm fuzzy.
Yeah, if you were still fuzzy after the ISIS flag attached to the back of the truck, the IEDs you would think maybe would have pushed you just a little towards the could be.
Right. But don't worry, we're going to cover up the ISIS flag so you don't see it.
My God. All right, quick hour 1, hour 2 of 2025 coming up right after this. Aaron, can you give me my computer here? Let's hear what MTG has decided on tomorrow's vote.
Good evening, everyone. Tomorrow we convene at noon in the House of Representatives, and our first order of business will be to vote for Speaker of the House. This is a historic vote, and it is the first order of business that we have to accomplish before we can even swear in as members of Congress. Now, here's how I feel about it. You all have seen me disagree with Mike Johnson at times. You've seen me fight against him at times. But you want to know something else? Here's what I recognize.
We've also seen you in the previous speaker votes.
For the past 4
We've seen the call to vacate the chair.
years, all of you, and myself included, have put blood, sweat, and tears into electing President Trump.
Why is it I feel like this might be just a tad different than what we've seen past here? I haven't seen this, watching it for the first time, but I just have a sneaky suspicion this is heading towards this is going to be different this time.
And when you want to talk about blood, President Trump himself actually was the one that shed blood after an assassin shot him in the face. Here's what I know. All of you are sick and tired and fed up out of the drama and all of the garbage that comes out of Washington, D.C. And after 2 terrorist attacks on our nation where innocent people were killed, and after 4 years of unbelievably horrific government policies, and now that we're in $36 trillion in debt, all of you at home, and myself included, are ready for the drama to end. Well, here's what I'm asking my colleagues to do. Let's put aside our pride, let's put aside our egos, and let's put aside the infighting. It's time to come together as Republicans, and it's time to do whatever it takes to make sure that we deliver the mandate that the American people told us to do. That's why I'm excited tomorrow. I cannot wait to get started. I'll be voting for Mike Johnson. I will be looking ahead in complete hopefulness and working as hard as possible. You see, we're going to elect a speaker, and then we're going to swear in as members of Congress. And then on Monday, we're going to certify the most historic election in our nation's history when we certify Donald John Trump's election as 47th President of the United States. We're going to spend a few weeks getting to work, working hard on preparing for his agenda. And then on January 20th, we're going to inaugurate Donald John Trump as the 47th President of the United States.
I can see.
o'clock on the East Coast, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday night, January 2nd. Glad you're in. Slick's going to do some sports. Delgado, Mr. Nolan are here. Aaron Fran holding it down as always.
That's funny.
Glad you're a part of the show as always. Follow us on all our social media at LFS6B, at LFS6B. Head over to livefromstudio6b.com, livefromstudio6b.com. Sign up, become a member over there as well. So, we just watched in the break, MTG put out a video that she is voting for Mike Johnson. And, of course, MTG was right in the middle of not voting for the Speaker of the House. Last time around, we went through this, and we heard all the reasons why Kevin McCarthy was terrible, and it had mostly to do with bad deals cut. Budget deals, this deal, that deal.
His relationship with the Carlyle Group.
I can remember President Trump calling her phone and her holding up the phone there in that picture with him on it. I mean, I objectively don't think it can be argued that Mike Johnson has been worse. I mean, that's just me. Maybe people don't think that. Maybe people think he's been better. I don't.
Rhino.
So, I guess she's changed her mind. She's going to vote for him, as I'm sure a lot will, because, you know, President Trump basically said that that's what he wants him to do, and he supports him. He's run cover for him this whole time that he's been Speaker, because he's been terrible. I mean, it might be I'm sure he's a nice guy. Ted Cruz says he's the most conservative Speaker we've ever had. Okay. I mean, if he is, I'm not. Where is the? You know, I used to say that Mitch McConnell was the greatest debt creator the Republican Party has ever seen, and I still think that's true. But the party itself has done quite a good job of that on their own. I just don't know objectively how you can make the case that Mike Johnson deserves your vote more than any other Speaker in the past has that you fought against so fervently for the same reasons that Johnson's been terrible. Just terrible. But I mean, this is what we're going to do. So, I mean, this is what we're going to do tomorrow, I guess. I don't know. Does anybody else have any strong feelings on this? Either way?
I think the bottom line is they don't have anybody else who's going to get the votes. So instead of giving it up to the Democrats and Hakeem Jeffries, you go with the best you can do. I don't know.
Well, I mean, what do you mean, when you say they don't have any? They know that they don't have anybody else to get the votes.
That's what I've read. That there's not another name out there that garners excitement to get those votes. I don't know.
So Mike Johnson's the most exciting.
Oh boy.
Well, I didn't say that.
Okay. All right, so, I mean, yeah, I guess...
But if he doesn't play ball the way Trump and MAGA wants it to, they can get rid of him within 6 months or so, right? Anytime they want, essentially.
Who's going to
vote him out?
Under your theory, who's the excitement that can get 218 then?
Right. Well, someone else would step up and say, you know what, he's not getting the job done. Maybe we got to find somebody else, and they have someone. Who knows? Maybe they have somebody in the queue. They're like, look, we're going to use him to get through because we need to get these things done in the first few months. And then if he starts to stray, we decapitate. And
Byron Donalds couldn't get 218?
I don't know.
No, I mean asking rhetorically, maybe to the audience. You can put yes or no in the chat. Byron Donalds couldn't get 218?
I'm sure he could. But there'd probably have to be some deals made, and maybe he's not willing to make some of those deals.
But then they say Mike Johnson and Trump had been spending a lot of time together. Is there any possibility here, D? You're the best on this subject when it comes to this sort of stuff. Do you think it's at all possible that he made it clear to him, I want you to behave this certain way, I need you to be this guy, and if you are not this guy, you are gone?
I think anything's possible. I'm sure he has.
With the president, yeah.
I'm sure he has, but I just think like we complain all the time about Republicans kind of like campaigning one way and then governing another, and we always just say, well, what do we believe in? Like what are you willing to stand behind and say this is what we actually stand for? Like what Mike Johnson's done since he's been Speaker can't be what people think we stand for.
I think the problem,
but everybody is willing to just go, well, let's we'll just roll with it, and that's what we always complain about us doing.
Yeah, I think the problem is conflating Republicans with conservatives. You just got two different factions in the same group, unfortunately.
Ted Cruz says he's the most conservative speaker we've ever had.
That's not saying much. When you compare, McCarthy and Ryan and Boehner.
Newt.
Well, Newt.
But that was 30 years ago.
I mean, look, the Overton window has moved so far. I mean, MAGA's barely conservative, in my humble opinion. I mean, it's not even everything's been shifted so far to the left. This is like centrist Democrat now, the Republican Party at this point. To be completely honest with you, we're not fully conservative the way the Constitution really meant it to be. So, and let's be honest, the Rhinos have been playing ball for 30 years now.
Right.
It's been the neocon Rhino Party, and they've just taken their marching orders. So it's all the same nonsense. I just hope to goodness sake that Trump's got him right where he wants him and says, you need to play ball full MAGA.
Right. Or we will take you out and you will primary you, and that'll be the end of your political career. Good luck. And we talked about this last week, I think. I think now Johnson has gotten a taste for the job. He's like, no, I like this job.
Yeah.
I'll do what I have to do to keep it.
I guess I just get it. I guess my point is my point more is just that I just get a chuckle out of people hammer the guy for weeks upon weeks upon weeks. Trump comes out and support him, and then it's like, oh no, he's okay. I'm willing to really not stand by anything that I actually believe, and say no, he was terrible 4 weeks ago, and he's still terrible today. But but what we always complain about.
Yeah.
Right. But
you don't have the courage of your convictions. This is what we're saying.
But again, we're not privy to those phone calls that come out, that these guys make between each other. The Trump phone call to MTG and goes, you know what? Here's why I'm supporting him, and here's why I want you to support him. And maybe he reveals there's a reason. You hear what I'm saying? Without saying it.
That has nothing to do with, you mean, like, there's a reason other than, like, the deals he's cut since he's been speaker?
It's the policies. He wants to get his policies through. He can't get his policies through if he doesn't have a united House. And he needs a united House. And this is probably, right now, it's probably his best shot right now to have a united House to get his policies through and then go from there. I think the first 6 months are probably, this is Mike Johnson's audition time. And if he doesn't hold up his
that's all we can hope for at this point, right? That's legit all we can hope for. I mean, let's be honest. I mean, we talked about it when I first show back. I said, right after Trump won, I said, D, is it going to be cool with our audience who we love to come down on Trump if he ends up not staying true to MAGA and true to form? And we said, yeah, we're going to have to do what we have to do. Just like when the CARES Act came out, I don't remember anybody going haywire against Trump more than you and I. That was just, and to me, even Operation Warp Speed, I felt like he just caved in, to the media's pressure to get this vax out as fast as possible, which, I was fully against at the time too. But we took a lot of heat for that. And we want to be full Trump guys. We want to be fully behind him, but I still want to be objective, and I don't want to get. Like I promised myself 30 years ago, I would look at every subject with new eyes every single time and not get lulled in to some, party or some politician who I'm hopeful of, because you just can't trust them. Now, is Trump different? Without a doubt. That's why I'm all in again. But I think it's just a little too early to go full infuriated that a rhino has gotten this job.
Right.
But I see where you're coming from completely. I was not happy with it, but I'm willing to wait it out.
Okay. All right. 9 minutes past the hour, live from Studio 6B. So we'll get that vote tomorrow in the, what is it? 100 and what Congress? Well, tomorrow. We'll find out. I don't know the number. Let's do some more news with Rick Delgado. Speaking of, 9 minutes past the hour. What else is going on, Delgado?
All right. Well, of course, the big Cybertruck explosion at Trump Hotel in Las Vegas is the other big story. The Army soldier who allegedly blew up the Cybertruck was burnt beyond recognition, surprisingly. But, it's amazing that some things survived, yet guns and himself and all these other things, well, parts of himself, I guess, survived enough that they could identify him. Let's check this clip out. This is Las Vegas Police Update, cut number 5 on the Trump Cybertruck bomber, cut 5.
Would like to highlight a couple of things that the teams found inside of the Cybertruck that are useful to the investigation. And that, first and foremost, is a military identification.
There we go.
We also found a passport.
Somehow it survived.
We found a Desert Eagle 50 caliber
that didn't survive.
Semi-automatic pistol. And if you'll notice on a lot of these guns that we're going to talk about here, they're almost just burnt beyond recognition as well.
Yeah, amazing. But somehow paper survives. Fire strong enough to burn weapons.
And your point being?
My point being, I'm not sure if I believe the narrative of him, the man known as Matthew Livelsberger, 37, as being the person who allegedly injured 7 in the massive blast outside of the Las Vegas hotel on New Year's Day. According to some of the things that I've seen floated out there, and this is coming from his family. And again, it begs the question, why would this guy do what he did? How did these pieces of paper survive a fire so hot that it burned, firearms? He was burnt beyond recognition, they said, but they could identify him from his tattoos. How is that possible? I thought he was burned beyond recognition. And then you have this interesting take from the family of Matthew Livelsberger starting to speak out. And as earlier report, and another thing, here's a guy who's a Green Beret, and somehow it looks like he just threw a bunch of things in the back of this truck and hoped that they would explode. I don't know. I would think a Green Beret might have a little bit more, I want to say expertise in making sure if he wanted something to explode, it would explode. As reported earlier, the Gateway pundit, perpetrator behind the bombing, Matthew Livelsberger of Colorado Springs, Colorado, the original reports said the blast was triggered by a detonation system controlled by Livelsberger, who died in the attack, but I guess he shot himself before he triggered the attack. The family is coming out and said they're not buying what these people are pushing out there. The family has a lot of questions regarding it, saying that he was a huge Trump supporter, so it doesn't make sense that he would do this in front of Trump Hotel. He would have been able to make a more sophisticated bomb, they said, after he allegedly shot himself prior to blowing up the truck. Too many questions surrounding this, and we all know that Tesla is big on self-driving vehicles. Do we know for sure he was driving the vehicle at the time? Or did somebody take care of things to make sure that the vehicle made it there with him inside? I'm just saying, I'm throwing it out there. These are questions I think that need to be answered. I'll throw it out there, see what you think. I don't know, but they're questions that need to be answered.
13 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. More news coming up right after this.
Carolina.
It's a little odd.
All right, chat, what's going on? I'm seeing all your comments. Those of you saying I'm not following the chat, I am, but obviously can't read, when I'm doing the show, but I am seeing it. Moon Pie, I'm not saying you like Mike Johnson. All I'm saying is if Trump came out and said, I think Johnson's been terrible, and I'll let Congress vote the way they want, but I'm not really. I think he's done not a great job so far. Would you be using the same excuses today and saying, well, no, we got slim margins, we got this, we can't get anybody else, we don't have anybody excitement, so Trump, I know he doesn't like him, but we got to go with him because of all the same things. I highly doubt it. You guys would have him fried and out of here in 2 seconds. But because Trump's on the other side, there's all these reasons why, just suck it up and deal with him. Well, I'm not willing to suck it up and deal with him. I think he stinks. I don't change how I feel about things because of which way the wind blows. So that's my only point. My only point is most people now saying Johnson's great or we're willing to swallow it and go with it If Trump had not given him a full-blown endorsement and had said anything like, well, I'll leave it to them, but I'm not happy about this, that, and the other thing, you'd have him filleted. You wouldn't be defending him.
So you're saying that the audience has too much faith and trust in Trump?
I'm just saying that I don't think people would be supporting him the way they're supporting him if he wasn't getting full cover run from Trump.
Well,
That's
I'm
all
going to
I'm
tell you
saying.
flat out. Let's just say hypothetically this was a Bush as president said Mike Johnson's my guy, I would be throwing up all over the place. But the fact that I do have a lot of confidence in Trump is why I'm willing to give it at least 6 months. Well, 4 months.
That's
or at
fine.
least to the first major.
Trusting Trump to be the reason why you're willing is fine. But what I'm saying is it doesn't change what Johnson has been since he's been speaker.
No, not at all.
He's been an absolute disaster.
Right. He hasn't been what we were hoping for.
He's been nowhere near it. In fact, McCarthy was better. And I didn't like McCarthy at all.
I don't know about McCarthy was better. He was terrible.
He was definitely better.
He was definitely terrible.
Well, you know how I felt about McCarthy from Jump Street, but in fact, I expected him to be 10 times worse. Maybe that's why I'm not so...
The deals they've all cut are indistinguishable. That's the point. Sound like the blue. It's on a Thursday.
Come on. When did we get the guy from Birch Gold on? What was his name? Philip Patrick. I like his interviews.
Yeah.
I got to read you something here. Yeah. Well, we're going to have to do it later because I just have no idea where they are, Aaron. So I wasn't prepared. So let's do some news with Delgado, and then I'll find them, and then we'll do them. Right. Delgado, what's going on?
It'll sound like the twos when we play it again.
So much going on. New Orleans attack. The police believe now, don't believe that any other suspects are involved there, Damon. This, according to the FBI, of course, who are telling us this is also not a terror attack. Authorities no longer believe that there are any other suspects involved in a New Year's Eve truck attack on Bourbon Street in New Orleans that killed 14 people and injured 35, according to the FBI earlier today. After investigators review all the surveillance video more closely, it appears it's a suspect, 52-year-old Shamsuddin Jabbar, who died in the attack, placed explosive devices in the area himself, and then changed clothes. He did like a Slick Rick where he did a costume change. Multiple law enforcement sources told ABC News the FBI is still investigating whether there were individuals Jabbar spoke to or messaged with prior to the early Wednesday attack, but no one in the vicinity to help him to do anything, according to sources. Federal law enforcement and the intelligence community are actively investigating any foreign or domestic contacts in connection that could possibly be relevant to the attack, according to President Biden, as he revealed earlier today.
Rick, do you mind if I just piggyback a John Solomon article? John Solomon had on former FBI Executive Assistant Director Christopher Piota on Thursday, and he said the U.S. does not believe that they are prepared for the new wave of terrorism that is starting in the U.S. following the New Orleans attack, which is being investigated, obviously. He said, I think it's a new era for the United States. He said this on John Solomon's podcast. Mm-hmm. He said, this is the type of terrorism that has been around for years. It is used for province groups like the IRA and earlier iterations of other terror groups, but this is going to be new for the United States, and I'll tell you, we are not ready for it. I'm going to post this article on my X account, but this is one of those things where we've been talking about this on and off for years, that it's surprising that we don't see more of these type of terrorist attacks, especially since, how many we've been attacking the Middle East since, George H.W.
Right.
When Haiti
even before that.
Yeah, even before that is right.
And we're kind of a free and open society with a lot of places people like to go and hang out. A lot of big
open borders.
Right. Well, the open borders is
that's all part of it to me. Like this open border.
Did you see Lara Logan's tweet today?
No.
She said, I learned months ago from multiple U.S. intel sources that the CIA was urging their quote-unquote friends, this is, again, Lara Logan, formerly of CBS, in the Taliban terror network to use their sleeper cells inside the U.S. for an attack that would be blamed on ISIS. So I'm very skeptical. It's too easy to blame ISIS. They do it over and over to hide the fact that powerful people inside American intel agencies are in bed with this nation's enemies.
So now,
she said, hold on one sec, throw in the cartels and Iran, and you may be closer to the truth. If I were a gambling man, I would bet ISIS had nothing to do with the New Orleans attack, in spite of what they are saying. Important question to ask. How did the FBI have a bigger presence on the ground than the New Orleans PD immediately after the attack? Did anyone from the Washington field office show up before the attack? If you're in the FBI and you saw something, you may want to say something. Why did the FBI pick up items from the scene and refuse to show them to New Orleans PD, almost as if they may have had pipe bombs that didn't explode or something? What did they take off that front bumper? Why did the perpetrators, Patsy, have multiple complaints to his commanding officer in Afghanistan that he was exhibiting extremist tendencies? Why are they scrubbing his medical dental records? Was it really him? This is, again, Lara Logan on X Tonight, formerly of CBS. How does the FBI have so many definitive answers so quickly, almost as if they are planting a narrative rather than doing an investigation? Same for all the people they had singing the same tune on the Sunday shows. And regarding Las Vegas, how did a right-handed guy shoot himself in the head in the left side? What trained Green Beret would use a completely traceable, trackable Cybertruck for covert action? That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And burn patterns were consistent with an accelerant inside the vehicle.
She continue?
A lot of questions.
That's it. From what I can tell tonight, at least that's from 8:54, so that's about 23 minutes ago. Lara Logan on X tonight with many questions.
And then, even as much like John Solomon and Just the News, when there's an old expression, once a spook, always a spook. And anybody who's in the CIA in the past and in the FBI and the intelligence agencies, never really leave. So you just wonder if this is more of that pre-programming and just to get everybody ready for more of this stuff. So you hear these articles like this, it's just the problem is, we've been lied to for so long about every possible thing there is. It makes it so hard to have any trust whatsoever, or other than the people, on social media as doing their own homework and doing their best to dig up the truth. So it's, for me, I usually need 4 days of digging into this stuff before I can even have a remote idea of what I would want to speculate on. But that's some pretty good questions right there. And
you know what's interesting that you say that, Paul, because I grabbed a couple clips from this former CIA agent and Sarah Adams. I want to play cut number 4. But it was after I watched the second one and I sent it to Fran and Aaron. I'm like, what if she's just, setting a narrative? Maybe, because now you question everything. The CIA's job is to lie, right? They're spies. Yeah. Spies lie. That's what they do. Is she being honest, or is she, playing the game? I don't know. But cut number 4, here's one of those clips that I was telling you about, where she says Al Qaeda is planning this coordinated attack. Cut number 4.
Back to the interesting point. You said that you guys think that they've sent at least 15. Al Qaeda alone has sent at least 1,500 people here in the United States.
Correct.
What do they plan on doing with them?
They have a 2025 multi-coordinated, multi-city plot to avenge the death of Osama bin Laden.
Okay, so I've watched you on podcasts. I've never heard that. Could you explain that more?
We're going to put a report on Monday, but essentially Al-Qaeda is actually who helped plan the Hamas attacks. The Hamas attacks is a dress rehearsal. So the Hamas attacks is the practice attack, and then the big attack is going to be in the United States and then in 4 countries in Europe.
Okay. You guys want to go home and load magazines?
Yeah. Yes.
I'm thinking.
I hope a lot of people come into your shop and stock up. It would be smart.
Really?
Wow.
Yes.
What's the time frame?
All we know is that the attack was planned for 2025.
I mean, again, I don't know her. Her interview on Sean Ryan's podcast is eye-opening. It's fabulous. But if she speaks like this, she is so definitively speaking like this, she can't be the only one, obviously, that knows this.
Right. And why hasn't she been shut down?
Good point.
Right? Wouldn't the CIA say, you know what?
Well, she said, did you watch the Sean Ryan?
Not the whole thing.
Okay, in the very beginning, she addresses that they have sent multiple people to see her to talk just about that.
Well, it's not working.
Well,
obviously because she's not letting it work, but it has been. She addressed that for quite a while, actually. That they have tried multiple ways to say,
pipe down,
yeah,
zip it.
Too many questions, especially about Vegas.
Yeah.
I mean, so the big question is this. So obviously we're not on the network right now. We're in the chat.
Chat.
Every time you see these things where they come along, right, Rick? To what end? What is the value here? Is the value here to get people so frothed up against Iran that we could finally take the last piece of the puzzle that the neocons wanted? They got every nation except for Iran. They've gotten everything they wanted. They started this plan in the 60s and 70s. It went full bore in the 2000s. What to what end? I don't understand. I like, you got to start killing people in America and you stop. I mean,
taking prisoners, like what they did. What happened with Israel? Yeah, that's. I can't see it.
I don't think they have the balls.
I don't either.
You start doing that in places that people load. You
Right.
It's gonna be a short night.
Exactly.
I mean, people walk
Try
around
that.
fully armed in Israel. No. Yeah, gun-free zone.
Yep.
Yeah,
I always hold my breath New Year's Eve.
You'd have to go after the ones that live in apartments, in nice areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because if they try and go into certain communities, they'll be met with gunfire.
Yep.
Should we try the reads again this time?
Yeah.
He has a better read on it. Yeah. Sounds like the take twos. Chat. 24 seconds. Oh, it's the AZ Mikey. Damon, 2 shout-outs. I get ads all of a sudden your night. I mean,
what?
I don't understand what I meant. In the YouTube.
Well, let me talk talk to you about our friends at Birch Gold. Increased tariffs on our trade partners, tax cuts, and regulation changes. Learn why gold is a viable diversification tactic now more than ever. Birch Gold, the only gold company you should trust, is releasing their ultimate guide to gold in the Trump era for the forward that's written by Donald Trump Jr. To get your free copy along with Birch Gold's free information kit on gold, text the word America to the number 989898. Here are the facts. The national debt continues to increase. Our interest payments on the national debt continue to increase. Gold is still your hedge against a weakened dollar. Birch Gold is still the company to trust to help you convert an existing IRA or 401k into an IRA tax-sheltered in gold. Text the word America, send it to 989898 to get your free copy of the ultimate guide for gold in the Trump era. There's no obligation, only information. With an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau, countless 5-star reviews, and thousands of happy customers, you too can trust Birch Gold. Text the word America to the number 989898 and do it today. Well, you know, Donald Trump's done it again with his presidential victory and a red wave sweeping the House and Senate. Conservatives are back in the driver's seat. But as the fight to restore America begins, now is not the time to get complacent. You have a chance to be part of this movement, not just as a voter, but as a member of a powerful organization that takes its marching orders directly from you. That, of course, is our friends at AMAC, the Association of Mature American Citizens. AMAC is the conservatives' alternative to AARP. They stand for faith, family, freedom, and AMAC is fighting for the values that make America great. Join AMAC today for just $1 for your first year. That's right, just $1 for your first year. Donald Trump is building his team. You can be a part of it. Join AMAC today and help continue the fight for a brighter, freer future. Visit amac.us/Studio6B, amac.us/Studio6B now to claim your $1 membership. Make your voice heard. That's amac.us/Studio6B. Together, you can keep the momentum going. Go to amac.us/Studio/6B. No studio. amac.us/6B. Go there now. AMAC. Great stuff they do. Check them out. All right, 32 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Paul Nolan's here. Anything that's been on your radar in the news other than obviously the obvious that we've been talking about here tonight?
You know what? I am following a lot of RFK and what he's doing. He had recently come out and he had talked about that the CDC has held secret meetings with vaccine companies about the alarming rates of autism amongst children who took the hepatitis B vaccine.
Trump talked about these meetings. They had them at Mar-a-Lago.
So the CDC held a secret meeting known as the Simpsonwood after a study showed that the hepatitis B vaccine was causing huge rates of autism. The study comparing babies who had hepatitis B vaccine loaded with mercury, aka thimerosal, within the first 30 days to babies who never got it at all was a shocking find. The CDC's own data containing medical records of over 100,000 children show that the mercury-based preservative in the vaccine, known as thimerosal, was responsible for the dramatic increase in autism and a host of other neurological disorders amongst children. I'm just glad there's conversation on this. This is the stuff that has to stop. I'm fed up with the processed foods. I'm fed up with the drugs that the companies get to pump into our children, and people want to trust their doctors. They want to trust the authorities. They want to trust their leaders, and they simply can't. And this is this kind of disgusting corporatism is really what I'm glad to see. I really hope we get to take some of this down.
If you haven't read David Kirby's Evidence of Harm, if you want to know about the true story on thimerosal, that'd be a good place to start. Kirby was talking about this, I don't know, probably 20 years ago, early 2000s, the link between thimerosal, mercury, and autism. And of course, everybody shot it down for years that there was no link, definitive link. But the story has never gone away. The case for it has actually been made stronger.
Now these advertising dollars that go into these mainstream media organizations. Where in God's name is CNN going to get their money from if they don't have Pfizer or Moderna? Or where are they going to get their money from? Would you as a business owner ever consider advertising on a dead network?
No.
So this is two nations and two countries of the world allow this. It has to end. So, these talking heads are beholden, to their masters. So, I'm glad this conversation's out there.
Let's put this up for a second, Aaron, since we're talking about it. People can see it. If you haven't seen David Kirby's book, Evidence of Harm, Mercury in Vaccines and the Autism Epidemic and Medical Controversy. Wow. Again, I think this book came out in probably the early 2000s, if I remember correctly. But thimerosal is really what the book is really written about.
And they talk about it as a preservative, right?
Yes.
And now, wasn't there a great
2005? 2005.
Didn't they?
20 years ago.
Yep.
When they started to make them in bulk, right? And then they couldn't sell them here. Bayer sent them over to China, if I remember correctly, and autism rates went through the roof there. Well, how's the autism rate amongst Amish? Right? Reporting on non-existent?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, we need more studies.
And just that Kirby says this is just a write-up on in the 1990s, reported autism cases among American children began spiking from about 1 in 10,000 in 1987 to 1 in 166 today. This trend coincided with the addition of several new shots to the nation's already crowded vaccination schedule, grouped together and given soon after birth or in the early month of infancy. Most of these shots contain a little-known preservative called thimerosal, which includes a quantity of the toxin mercury.
Now we're at 1 in 36 children. 1 in 36 as of now. It's it can't be.
Yeah. All right. Anything else, Paul?
No, good. I'm happy to just go with the flow here.
All right. Let's do some more news. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition. Before we do the news, by the way, there are a couple good articles. I'm not going to go through them, but I want you to be aware of them. I think they're on our socials. Both actually over at the American Thinker. Charlatan Allen wrote a piece today called Terror in Las Vegas, Bad Symbolism, Worse Implications, talking about the Tesla Cybertruck, obviously at Trump International Hotel, and a chilling reminder that we live in a world where symbols matter, and kind of the link between Trump and Elon, and was this random or not random. He says this act, whatever his ultimate origins, is not random. The location, the vehicle, the potential targets are a trifecta of meaning in our increasingly divided world. So there's that piece today. And then there's another piece just about what we saw in New Orleans. And it's entitled Vehicular Terror, A Blueprint for Mayhem by Joe Alton. And just talking about really the weapon of choice now being vehicles. And really making the case for what we saw, obviously, in Waukesha, Wisconsin, killing 5, 86, wounded 434 in what we saw in Nice, France. 13 died in the Berlin Christmas market that same year. We just saw that again this year in Germany, again, and now this in New Orleans. And how it's become just another terror tactic that they're using. Mainly because you're going to put together an IED, boy, you need real specialists to do that. If you're going to go get a gun, there's going to be this. You can get your hands on a vehicle pretty easily. Anybody can. So interesting piece, makes some interesting arguments in this and that as well. Vehicular Terror, Blueprint for Mayhem. Joe Alton today at the American Thinker. It's on our socials as well. All right, let's do the news. Delgado, what's going on?
All right, well, a little Shades of Sum of All Fears, if you're familiar with that movie. Important questions. This is coming from, you mentioned Lara Logan earlier. Mm-hmm. Important questions for journalists covering the New Orleans truck attack. Sources on the ground identified nuclear regulatory commissioners at the scene. Why would they need to be there? That would indicate a possible dirty bomb or radioactive concern. This is worth investigating. What were they doing there? What were they looking into? Usually by the time these folks are called, they've already identified some cause for concern.
Who is this now?
That needs their expertise. Coming from Lara Logan, once again.
Oh.
So, again, raising a lot of questions, a lot of unanswered questions.
I just read that AMAC commercial. Reminds me of. So what's the deal with the police chief there in New Orleans, or the commissioner of police in New Orleans? She looks like she just left the AARP meeting, or the. I mean,
that hairdo.
What is that story about?
You mean Mrs. Barney Fife?
Yeah,
you're right.
Did you read? She ran over 2 people like 6
she
months
ran
or
over
a year
2
ago?
people, I guess, back in the summer. Injured one of them with her car.
One was a hairdresser.
And evidently, she came from another city, which I guess ran her out of town,
right?
Oakland.
Oh,
where
wow.
She was a police commissioner over there.
I mean, with all due respect, who thinks that she's the best person? I mean, how is this?
You want to take a look around the country? Look at New York City. Look at their chief of police. The police commissioner for New York City is a disaster by look and by what do you call it? Resume. This is a person who was only elevated because of her last name being Tish. Yeah, Giants ownership. She is highly connected. Most of these people are connected. This is how they get their jobs. They're not cops. They're not police. They're not detectives. They haven't put 25 years on the street. Kind of raising their getting their experience that way. No, they're anointed. They're put into place because they're going to carry out what their bosses want them to carry out. Simple as that. So look around the country. If you'll notice certain police chiefs have a certain look. You know why they got the job.
Clint Russell, to your point on the Vegas thing, Delgado says you've got 2 options when you look objectively at the Vegas thing. You've got a special forces guy who took his own life just before setting off an explosive that was designed to be minimally lethal but highly symbolic. That's choice 1. Or choice 2, he was killed by someone else and the Cybertruck was self-driven or summoned to its location. Because I saw the point being, if you're going to use a vehicle to set off a bomb and do damage, you would not pick that bulletproof.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
That would not be the vehicle of choice.
Yeah, and if you're a Green Beret and, somebody who's got this much military experience, as his uncle said, he's a skilled warrior who would have been able to make a much more sophisticated bomb. Why would he use propane tanks, camping fuel, and fireworks instead?
Yeah.
It's just a lot of questions.
That dog don't hunt.
Exactly.
Yep.
So a lot of questions need to be answered, really. We're asking them. We'll see if we get any answers.
Like I said, couldn't ask for a better city for it to happen and get information than Las Vegas. So
they have cameras there, right?
Couple. All right, we'll wrap it up. More sports, a little more news right after this, live from Studio 6B on a Thursday. The IED. The Nampa bomb squad was called in and successfully detonated the device using a robot. The incident halted rail traffic through the corridor for over 5 hours. So this guy's been arrested. I don't know. It sounds like it doesn't. But Logan says if you think this is just another coincidence, you're not connecting the dots. It appears the insurgency may have arrived. So she's saying that all these.
Mm-hmm. Connect.
It's hard to not feel that way right now, right? I mean,
well, it's like when you remember when we saw those what do you call it? Food processing plants.
Oh yeah,
catching fire, planes flying into them.
Yeah, chicken farms being blown to smithereens.
Right. Now they got the bird flu. We got to kill all these chickens. Why? Because of bird flu. Do any of them have bird flu? We don't know. They slaughter them anyway.
Epoch.
So this is twice now I've heard Hakeem Jeffries could end up Speaker of the House.
Oh, God, no. Please.
Is that remotely possible?
I sure hope.
See?
The Democrat.
I mean, I don't know what the Democrat number. What are the numbers in the House right now? I don't even know what they are. How many votes do the Democrats have if they all vote for him? Well, that's what they're going to do.
They're short. They got to be short.
214. So he needs 4 Republicans to go the other way.
Some deal cut.
Do you put past 4 Republicans to vote for him?
No.
Okay.
Nope.
Well, there you go. So there's your possibility.
That's true. There's not one Dem is going to vote for Johnson.
Know that.
So Lara Luma just posted something. I have uncovered the real Facebook page of wife of Matthew Livelsberger. Her real name is Jennifer Ann Davis. Media falsely reported his wife's name is Sarah. Here's a photo of them in 2023 on her archived account at CCP Skip Tracer. I don't know what that is.
All right, 47 past the hour, live from Studio 6B. Glad you've been a part of the show. As always, boy, Lara Logan is still active on X tonight. She's saying now, he's talking about the Las Vegas Cybertruck thing. Las Vegas police route for Vegas bombing. Matthew Livselberger would have needed to leave Monument, Colorado Springs no later than noon on December 31st, making all necessary stops and avoiding sleeping to arrive in Las Vegas, Nevada by 7:35 a.m. on January 1st. Key calculations: driving time 14 hours, charging time 6.5 hours, estimated needed, total time 20.5 hours. Time zone adjustment: Las Vegas is 1 hour behind Colorado, giving a total window of 19.5 hours from noon on December 31st to 7:35 a.m. on January 1st. Stops for charging and fireworks. Fireworks stands are within 10 minutes of the Gallup, New Mexico supercharging station. Charging and driving details: December 30th, Monument to Trinidad, Colorado. It's 148 miles, 2-hour drive, 1-hour charge. December 31st, Trinidad, Colorado to Las Vegas, Nevada. 130 miles, 2-hour drive, 1-hour charge. Las Vegas, Nevada to Albuquerque, New Mexico. 122 miles. Albuquerque to New Mexico to Gallup, New Mexico. 138. Gallup to Holbrook. Holbrook to Flagstaff. Flagstaff to Kingman. Kingman to Las Vegas. I guess so. I guess that's what they think possibly he would have had to have done. And Lara Logan says, so he was dead when they put him in the Tesla and remotely piloted that vehicle into position in front of the Trump Hotel, ? So I guess she's asking, is that what this guy who laid this out is trying to infer? So I don't know.
Yeah, as soon as I saw that, that was one of my questions, even before I started diving into this stuff. So it just doesn't seem to make sense.
Lot of.
Laura Loomer is claiming that there's some mistakes here about the media falsely reported that Lissenberger's wife's name was Sarah, but I believe it says her name is Jennifer Ann Davis, and they found her. I just shared it on my X. I guess it's time for the LFS6B community to do some super sleuthing together.
Well, I don't know if she may have kind of misunderstood, because they did have a picture of him with a girl named Sarah as his partner back in 2016. But that was, didn't say his wife, but his partner he was taking a trip with. Mm. Now you're reporting that the wife's name is something different, so, could he have been dating someone else? Of course.
All right, let's do some sports and some quick news before we wrap it up. Sports is brought to you by Mike Lindell. Slick's got it. Slick, sir, what's going on?
All right, Big D, Tax Slayer Gator Bowl at the half. Ole Miss leading 24-7. Ole Miss QB, senior QB, Jackson Dart, 22 of 30, 252 yards, and 2 TDs. I guess he's doing a little interviewing there for a possible draft pick there down the road. He's having a hell of a night, that young man, because that's 252 yards in one half. So 24-7, Ole Miss rolling it up on Duke. A couple other scores real quick. NHL action. Rangers beat the Bruins 2-1. That just went final. Sabres 2-0 over the Avalanche. End of one. The Islanders and Maple Leafs tied at 1, 7:36 to go there in the third. Hurricanes and Panthers also tied at 1, just inside a minute to go in the third as well. Utah Hockey Club and Flames tied at 1, end of 1. Wild over the Capitol in a wild one, 4-3 final shootout in OT. So that's a wrap on the scores. And quick story, real quick, if I can get one in here. We got trans athletes slams NCAA for lack of full scholarships to compete against women. You believe this one? Warner Todd Houston of Breitbart. A transgender NCAA track and field athlete is blasting the college sports organization for not offering more scholarships to men who identify as women to play women's sports in college. Rochester Institute of Technology, Sadie Schreiner, recently decried the lack of sports opportunities for transgender athletes, according to Fox News. Among all the hurdles transfers usually have, there is an extra layer because it is trans. 50% of the country banned me from participating, and that meant I couldn't attend any of those colleges, even if they reached out to me for a full ride, Schreiner exclaimed. Schreiner also insisted that the state's rules cannot prevent him from attending those schools if he wants to. It also became clear that the states that did, no matter how adamant the coaches were to have me on their teams, the college administrators would usually stop them from allowing me to participate. So what a decry there. Really kind of a joke there altogether, but what can you do? And one more quick story. Hold on there. Well, we'll get the odds makers tomorrow night, so I'll preview this as well, Big D. Big odds makers. We're getting into the final leg of the season here, Big D, right? The final week 19, baby. Yep. And the stakes, the Vikings-Lions game, I'll preview that tomorrow night. That's going to be some game. Sunday night, that's for all the marbles. The winner is going to get the first round bye and be the number one seed in the conference. That means it all. The loser becomes a wild card. And that's a wrap in sports, Big D. Back to you.
All right, Slick, very good. Before I get to Doug Otto, just to do some last news, there is a new headline in the New York Post out tonight. Cybertruck bomber Matthew Livesberger's wife broke up with him days before explosion outside Trump Hotel.
Wow.
The wife of the Army soldier who blew up the Tesla Cybertruck outside the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas Wednesday broke up with him 6 days before he killed himself inside the vehicle, according to law enforcement tonight. Matthew, 37, left his Colorado Springs home the day after Christmas following an argument with the wife over apparently cheating. Two sources familiar with the investigation. His wife, who had a baby daughter with him, recently it's terrible for this kid, reportedly told him that she knew he had been cheating, sources say. After leaving, he rented the truck on the Turo app, made his way to Vegas, where he parked in front of Trump Hotel, detonated explosives, stashed in the truck, and shot himself in the head, accordingly to Las Vegas police right now. With the new development in the case, investigators are probing whether the soldier's motive was purely personal rather than political as previously considered, given the location of the detonation and the choice of vehicle.
Yeah, not buying that one.
Yeah. So that's the latest. So
that's the official deep state press release.
Looks like a little change in maybe narrative trying to throw out there tonight. So what else, Delgado, before we wrap it up? Anything else?
Well, we do have some news on that plane crash in California. It's cut number 7. Aaron, we can run this without audio, as a matter of fact. Plane crash that happened earlier today in Fullerton, California. As you can see here, the incident ended up injuring at least 15 people. 2 people they're saying right now they know of as reported deceased. 6 others were treated at the scene. This is coming from John Solomon's Just the News. A small 4-passenger plane crashed into the building near the Fulton Airport in Southern California, killing at least 2 and injuring, like I said, more than a dozen more. The crash occurred after the pilot asked the airport for an emergency landing, which the FAA tower said it approved. It is not clear what the emergency landing was for, and the investigation into the crash is underway. It's also not clear whether the person who died was from the plane or the building. So more details on that sure to follow, but for now it doesn't look like it's connected to anything, anything terror related, which is hopefully a positive. So that's it. That was the last one I was sitting on.
All right, very good. News is brought to you by Freedom Force Nutrition, available over at livefromstudio6b.com, livefromstudio6b.com. So obviously tomorrow we get a new Congress. Then on Monday, we get the electors that come to Congress and the certification of the election. And that'll be very interesting just to see what Jamie Raskin and these slime balls who have always stood up on January 6th whenever a Republican wins and complained about certifying the election, who then told us how we were all insurrectionists when in 2020. It'll be interesting to see how they all act on Monday. And then, of course, inauguration on January 20th. So
now according to this, Johnson has to run the table tomorrow to get 218 straight. Mike Johnson can only lose one vote, and so far we know that's Thomas Massey.
We'll see what happens. As always, we salute our military, active and active police, firefighters, first responders, all emergency personnel, especially in New Orleans, Las Vegas, who have been dealing with these last couple days. But emergency personnel all over the country and the world all the time. Thanks, guys, on the show. Aaron Fran, great job as always. Most of all, thank you, the live from Studio 6B audience. We'll see you tomorrow night to wrap up a short week, Friday night. Pizza Friday, live from Studio 6B. We'll see you then.